Alrighty, so basically what's going on with this chart is probably, and first off, what I want to say is I personally don't believe that, like, the placements as they are when you're born, like from the chart, I think it's a tool for learning and something you can take to apply to your, daily situations, and like learn how it works. And I think you can construct your own chart. But, for the purpose of this, I want to be treating it as if, the kind of the picture that it paints. And so with these placements, with Sun in Taurus, Moon in Libra, conjunct Lilith, Virgo North Node, Uranus in Aquarius, South Node in Pisces because the North Node's in Virgo, Pluto in the 7th, and Mercury in, if it was at 0.4 degrees, Aries, and are around the same area. For the point I'm making here, it's works the same if it's around that cusp. So and Venus and Aries. So the big theme here is probably having a vision in your mind of what you want to happen, and trying to get reality to look like the picture you have in your mind of what could happen, because you have the Mercury in the 12th, so it's kind of 11th, 12th cusp, but you still may be, because Pisces is there, you still may be like seeking guidance of spiritual things, but you may feel like you've already like kind of experienced a lot of what like life has to offer, and the different aspects of life. So then you already basically, you're at a point where you can kind of clear your mind and you just see with clarity what should be thought about. And so your thoughts in general, or at least the thoughts that you would communicate, are very at peace, or you know how to get them there, or you're at the point where you choose whether you want to be overthinking or not, basically, with the exception of the North Node that's in Virgo, but that's towards basically taking that image and making sure everything is lined up and looks exactly like you pictured. And then because of the Moon conjunct Lilith, and the separation between the North Node and the South Node, it's creating a frustration, because first off, you don't have the natural whole house like version of a Taurus rising, so things, you may be misunderstood as far as what you're trying to do just based on that. But you've got the Moon and Lilith, so the way you react, which is intending to bring peace, other people, it may be not harmonious with the people around you, and you may even sometimes be perceived as like coming off like you're trying to get money, or like you're trying to be sexual or something like that, because just based on the placements here, not based on anything you said or anything, but like the Sun's in Taurus, so that means that you're going to be wanting and expressing, wanting like security and things of that nature, and it's going to be your first house or connected to it, because you're also Taurus rising. And then, Lilith is like the promiscuous woman, and that's conjunct how you express yourself. So, you may even, be involved in some situations that you may have meant to bring on or not, where you'd create like, I don't know, some kind of like home wrecker type thing, or like some like that other people thought you were trying to do, but that's not really what you're intending at all. You're really trying to get this, all these things like lined up the way you see them, but it ends up being perceived that way. And it's probably the furthest thing from the truth, because you have like the Pluto in the 7th house. So you're probably really seeing as all those kind of deep, like twisted up kind of things, especially as a Taurus rising. You're probably like trying to say, you guys have all that. You may not even want to get involved in those type of things. But, it might seem like whenever you're trying to, just help people enjoy themselves, like have a good time, chill out, it just keeps like popping up. So my advice of, how you'd rectify this chart is, first off, from my own experience, I'm a pretty big proponent of first tackling the nodes themselves, because of, and especially in your case, because you have that strength there of, and your chart ruler, is kind of near where your Mercury's at and all that, and they're in the 12th, which is kind of like, honestly, I believe, maybe not in terms of how it's perceived, but I kind of think like it's the exaltation of like every planet, because once you get to the 12th, you understand the other 11, you just may be like misunderstood and not have the best time of it, because people aren't like understanding what you're intending to do, really. But overall, like really to yourself, it's really like the best place to have anything, because you get why things are happening. But I could see the argument of why, it would be which is another thing. I believe you can move the placements. Like if you're reading a different sun sign, for instance, you kind of become that sun sign while you're reading it, because you're taking in that kind of information, or you're accessing that part of your chart, however you want to look at it. So, to tackle the nodes, then, first off, the first thing you want to do is reconnect Virgo to Pisces. Find a way to make them the same thing, because there's a separation of obsessing over, everything having to be one certain way that you see, and a lot of times with Virgo, they need to zoom out, which is kind of, I can't directly say just to do that, because even that can cause problems with someone that's a Taurus rising, because it's in the 8th house. Well, it won't really cause problems for you, but it may cause problems for other people, because they won't get your perspective sometimes, unless you convey it well, which may be difficult with the Venus and Mercury in Aries, because you have the tendency to just kind of want to say what's happening, like just kind of like, fire it off. Which is why I was thinking it's kind of funny, because you already got like the Virgo and all that Libra going on with like people misunderstanding you, but like your preference, because the Venus is the type of things you enjoy. It's like you enjoy being the person to also just kind of, say what's on your mind, and just say kind of, screw it, so, which is, like I said, I think the 12th is, or Pisces, and the 12th, I think that's really the whole point of astrology to begin with is really understand the totality of Pisces and the Virgo of Pisces. Yeah, and Virgo, the details of Pisces, you know, all the different parts. So, you know, it's about seeing the face. You ever see those things on like Facebook where you got like the huge face that's made of a bunch of little faces or something like that, or, you know, picture you know, it's about being able to see the whole big picture and the little things that make up that picture at the same time. And the way you do that is you align yourself to make it to where the vision that you're wanting to see is, you know, in your daily life, you may be like really zoomed in with the Virgo, and the key is to make those things you're seeing in your daily unify with like the overall big flow. Like realize what all the signs are doing. Like, you know, if a room gets messy or something, knowing that it's not just like that person that left it messy. It's, you know, that person's having to deal with bills, or they're having to, you know, or the government, the laws in place in general are causing it to where that person's just that little bit more stressed to where they don't feel like picking it up. And you have to tackle that, not just that someone left something in a certain room or something. You know, and then really look at it like each of those little things that happens, like it's a part of the big plan. You know, there's, you know, look at how things trickle down, basically. So yeah, you know, and then the Uranus in Aquarius is basically you, you know, you seeing this goal of how everyone could come together, but not quite getting in that flow of actually like being in the flow of what the collective is doing, but kind of like systematizing it out and learning like who everyone is and kind of organizing it. But like the downside of Aquarius is they know everything, but they don't know when to know everything, right? Whereas Pisces knows when to know everything, but they may not know the ins and outs of all of that everything. But that's because they're really zoomed out looking at, you know, from the, you know, very top, like the whole thing. So, which sounds like Sagittarius, but this is the, you know, the whole everything and the little things and the whole everything of seeing the little thing, you know what I mean? So like, so yeah, and then also I'm going to include as usual my methods for kind of making progress in general with the placements or signs is a lot of people, like if you look, there's astrologers or, you know, people in general think or talk about like how you incorporate the next sign to help you, like that's where the sign you're at is supposed to grow to. But if you look 2 signs ahead and go for that, then you'll see that automatically you'll already be doing the next sign, because you're, you know, falling short is actually landing where you want to go. Like if you're an archer, if you shoot directly at a target, the gravity pulls the arrow down. But if you aim a little bit above that, then when the gravity pulls it down, it actually lands into the target. You know, so that kind of idea. And then also, in general, if there's an issue with the sign, just look at the sign opposite it. If you have issues with Libra, that means that there's something in Aries that you got to do. And if there's issues with Aries, that means that there's something, you know, with Libra you got to do. And as confusing as it may be, sometimes what you have to do with Libra is Libra's version of something Aries like. So, yeah. I think that's about it for that chart. If you have, you know, any other questions, you know, leave me a comment either in the group or, you know, in the video, and I'll, you know, expound on that topic more. Thank you for watching, and yeah, you know, if you liked it, you know, like, comment, share, if you know, like it if you liked it. That's pretty much it. And also, I'm finishing up a series of talking about like the terms of astrology and the other typologies in general, if you want to take a look at that. And yeah, I will, you know, if you look up that stuff, I'll be talking to you later. Or, you know, perhaps on Facebook. Thank you.